Hello, and welcome to the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Live. My name is Jeff Harding, and I'm sitting in for Kyle Case, who's out of town. Joining me today in studio is Derek Campbell. Derek, how are you?
No, pretty fantastic. Jeffrey, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. You're looking good.
Thanks.
You're looking good. Things are exciting around the office, aren't they?
Yeah, actually.
It's the 30th anniversary of the games, and the registration is still coming strong. In fact, do you know how many people have registered as of today?
Well, 67, 80 something.
That's about right. It's actually 65-31. But hey, 67's close.
Did you pull the right date?
Well, it said today's date on it. So,
all right.
So somewhere between 65 and 67, we that's how many people we have. And some of our sports have closed. We have so many. In fact, pickleball's closed, and it closed after 7 hours, and bowling's closed, and we can't take any more softball or volleyball teams. And some other sports are getting awfully close. Have we closed shotgun sports yet?
Nope, not yet. Harold's still working on that. So if you're a shotgun enthusiast and want to compete this year, you better get going because it's ready to close.
We're getting there. Well, hey, Derek, Americans spend hundreds of thousands of dollars each year on their teeth just to have the perfect smile. Do you spend a lot of money on your teeth?
Well, I don't anymore, but I have had braces and I've had cavities filled, and
so you're one of those that have spent tens of thousands of dollars.
Well, your parents have. Parents spent that, money.
Well, according to SpoonUniversity.com, which of course we know if it's on the internet, it must be true. There are at least 6 mistakes most people make each day when brushing their teeth.
How can you make 6 mistakes in just brushing?
Well, we'll go over them. Okay.
All right.
So having a perfectly straight teeth and a white smile, it's a dream of most Americans, isn't it? However, we may be guilty of making a few epic mistakes while brushing our teeth. The first one is only brushing your teeth once a day. You should
people do that?
Yeah, some people do.
All right.
You should be brushing your teeth at least 2 or 3 times a day. It's recommended that you brush your teeth first thing in the morning and right before bedtime. However, brushing once more is helpful, but you have to be careful not to brush too much or you'll wear your enamel off.
Oh.
So just keep it to 2 or 3. The second one is using a stiff brush instead of a soft brush.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't use those anymore.
I mean, some people, mine's a medium. I like a medium best, but this issue works because you can be damaging your gums if the bristles are too stiff.
Yeah, I've experienced that. I go with the soft.
So the third one is not flossing.
Yeah, that's a big one. People don't do it. I've started later in my life.
So to quote Nike, just do it. Just floss.
Do it.
Just
it's
floss
simple.
your teeth. Yes,
just
that's right.
keep your floss right by your toothbrush.
The next one is only brushing for about 30 seconds each time. So you just once over get every tooth once and you're done. That's not enough. It takes longer than that.
Kyle told me I'm nuts. I usually brush for like 5 minutes.
That's probably too long. You're starting to wear your enamel off.
Probably.
So it should take about 2 minutes to complete your brushing of your teeth. And anyone that takes longer than that, they say that no. I was going to make a joke, but I decided against it. But the reason you need to do it that long is because you get tartar in your gums, and if you don't brush sufficiently long, it stays there. So it takes about 2 minutes to loosen the tartar up and get the tartar out. Yeah. And the next is related to that, neglecting your gum line. No one has time for gingivitis, so make sure that you aren't focusing too much just on the actual tooth, but you do the gums to get the bacteria out. And the tongue, because there's a lot of bacteria on the tongue.
It's easy to forget.
So you need to make sure you get your tongue and sometimes your bad breath comes from just the bacteria on your tongue alone. And if you're neglecting it, you'll do it. And the last one is not replacing your toothbrush often enough. How often do you replace your toothbrush?
Not often enough.
Some people get the toothbrushes that have the little color stripe in it. When the color stripe is gone, and you need to replace your toothbrush. But they recommend at least every couple of months to replace your toothbrush.
Yeah, I've found that the toothbrush with the little scrubby thing on the backside, too, is very beneficial. Scrub your cheeks and stuff as you're brushing your teeth.
Again, to get rid of the bacteria.
Actually feel a difference. So.
Yeah. And your breath smells so much better. We can tell when you come in the office whether or not you've...
I know, so does my wife.
Well, so there you have it. 6 things that you can do to have better oral hygiene. And speaking of oral hygiene, joining us in studio today
nice segue.
That was the best I could come up with on the short notice. Is Christy Benson from the Live Well Center.
Hi there.
Hi, Christy.
How are you? You know how hard it is to say Benton when you're laughing?
Apparently.
It's hard. It's hard to say it. Well, welcome aboard.
Well, thanks. It's nice to be back.
Yes, it's great to have you. It's always fun. You're just very full. You're so full of so much information. It's just fun to have you here.
And I do appreciate your witty banter. I do, and I just learned some things.
Did you?
I did.
Oh.
About the teeth and the cheek brushing that Derek does. Yeah.
So Derek taught you something.
I just learned
Hey,
something.
look at that, everybody.
Yeah.
Derek, way to go, dude. Well, today we're going to talk about something that's probably not on the top of most people's mind when they're thinking about a healthy lifestyle, but it is important. And I know Derek is very excited about this topic. It's smoothies.
Right on.
Yeah.
So-
I want to know.
All right.
I want to know.
You want to know?
Tell me more.
Wants to know now. So tell
What's
us.
the scoop on smoothies?
Yes,
Yes, indeed.
Well, go ahead. Tell us
Well,
about it.
okay. So I think, I'm going to date myself. Many years ago, we didn't do smoothies. But, since we're trying to get more vegetables into our diet these days, one of the very easy mediums to do so became smoothies. We have to drink something, and a lot of folks go, ooh, I don't have time to cook it. But, if I puree it and put it in a beverage that I like, something with maybe some fruit, maybe a little yogurt, I can get more vegetables in. So I think that kind of drove us to enjoy more smoothies. It was a way to, if you will, hide the vegetables but get the benefits.
So there you go. So, and when I think of a smoothie, I think of something that I'm getting for recreation, not for health. I mean,
Well, I think they should be enjoyable, or you're not going to want to drink them.
That's very true.
If you overdo the kale, you may have to go feed it to your plants. But you do want to enjoy what you're eating. I think enjoyment of food is very important. But you can also get a nutritional kick by looking at the ingredients that you're adding, perhaps even the volume. Are you going for high protein because it's post-workout? Are you doing it because, man, in the morning I am like rushing. I've got to get this in, and I've got 3 food groups represented in my smoothie. See ya. So you kind of have a purpose.
Right.
And again, if you don't like it, you're not going to drink it.
no, you're not. And I've even seen that with grandkids. My son-in-law will get on a health kick, and he'll buy all kinds of exotic fruit that we don't normally have around the house and stuff, and he'll make up this really fancy smoothie. And, of course, he shares it with everybody. And sometimes I'm even turning up my nose at it. But my grandkids, his kids, sometimes don't want anything to do with it. And you'd think that would be something that would be enticing to them, but it just doesn't meet their needs.
I'm going to tell you, if somebody gave me a green beverage as opposed to my favorite fruit punch color, cherry red, or even lemonade, I would probably hesitate a little bit. Now, that's just because of kids' perception. It's a
Right.
green beverage. Where did this come from? But having said that, many of them, they don't taste green. They taste fruity. They
sure.
taste vanilla. They taste much better than strictly spinach or kale.
I mean, if you think about it as a kid, what do you know that's green? Grass. What did you put in here? Grass?
Exactly.
No, guacamole. Guacamole. Give me a bowl of chips and a green smoothie made of avocados.
And there are some great recipes out there that actually involve the guacamole. So you're right on, Derek.
Heck yeah.
Well, if you're just joining us, you're listening to the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life on Fox News 1450 AM, and we're talking with Christy from the Live Well Center. And by the way, Christy, you are a registered dietitian.
That is correct.
We didn't cover that at the top of the show because you are a returning guest, but you are a registered dietitian, so you know of what you speak.
I like to think I do, yes. And I like to practice what I speak also.
Well, very good.
Yeah.
Now, Derek,
Well, yeah, I want to know. I really do. I want to know more, Christy. So I've tasted smoothies at the shop, and they taste great. Fantastic. And you try and duplicate something like that, and there's a reason that they're in business and I'm not.
And you know that they've perfected their recipes
Right.
over the course of the time, which I actually recommend for a lot of folks to actually look at what they're putting in there. A lot of folks just want, there's a little of this, and pretty soon you've got this concoction, and oops, you missed the flavor mark.
Yeah.
And so once you develop your own recipe, even if it's a basic recipe, repeat that and then experiment. Maybe I'll throw in pineapple today instead of the strawberry. See how that gives it a twist. Maybe I'll use carrots and apples instead of doing green with maybe a spinach and some strawberries. So you kind of establish what flavor you're looking at. And then I would say, perhaps even primary, why am I doing this? Do I need protein, or is this strictly carbs? Am I just wanting to get out of the house, get the energy up, and go for it?
now just for the neophytes out there, explain the difference of when you would want one versus the other?
Well, if I were doing one for breakfast, and it seems that that is a very popular time for a smoothie, I want it to be a meal replacement. So I want to make sure I'm getting maybe some dairy, maybe some protein. There's going to be some fruit. And again, if I jazz it up, I'm going to throw the vegetables in there. So I wanted to replace what I might consider a more traditional breakfast. I mean, you could even put oats in it. A lot of folks are now adding the seeds and the walnuts and peanut butter. There's quite a ways to go with those smoothies.
Now, what about like an egg?
Not raw. There's, you're dealing with
bacteria.
Yeah. So, and then hard cooked eggs, they do not blenderize.
Yeah.
They don't. So
I mean, again, I didn't know. I'm a neophyte, so I'm just asking.
I would go to the Greek yogurt, certainly as a form of protein. I have seen cottage cheese in some. Again, you're going to add a little bit of fruit to kind of hide that flavor.
Right.
But you want to get a source of protein in there, especially if it is a breakfast smoothie. And along those same lines, if you're using it as a post-workout recovery beverage, certainly a possibility, you've got to make sure you're still getting some protein and some carb in there.
Mm-hmm. So help me make my smoothie better, Christy, because I partake every morning. It's basically my post-workout. So mine is milk, cup and a half, 2 cups of milk, a banana, and a protein powder. So basically, I'm just trying to get the protein in so that I don't get smaller because I'm small enough as it is. They call me skinny. So I don't want to bulk up.
You don't want to bulk
Actually,
up, but
Derek, actually, we don't call you that. We just think that.
Yeah, I know. But other people say it out loud.
Well, Derek, you can actually get a little more experimental with yours. There is certainly a rationale for the protein powder. It's quick, it's easy, it's vanilla, it makes everything taste good. You've got quite a bit of milk going in there. You could probably drop that to a cup and maybe add a different fruit. So you've got maybe 2 or 3 fruits and a cup of milk. One of those fruits might be the frozen banana to make sure you're getting a nice smooth texture. And again, with the protein, it depends on how hard you worked out, if you will, because some of us tend to over protein things. We will put the Greek yogurt in. We'll use milk as the medium. We'll put not 1, but 2 scoops of protein in there. And that's beginning to be an overkill. So again, depending on where your workout is, it might just be a post-recovery workout smoothie. Or if you've worked out and you're coming home and it's breakfast on top of being post-workout, okay. So you can jazz it up a little bit. I would probably drop the milk a smidge, throw in another 2 fruits or so, and get brave.
Give me a couple fruits.
Strawberries and bananas. Strawberry and banana, very, very popular.
Okay.
And even the pineapple would also work in there.
Throw a little pineapple.
Frozen pineapple. Mm-hmm. I've got the...
I also like papaya.
Exactly. The papaya and the mango, I would get those, frozen, ready to rock and roll, throw them in there, have a good blender, of course, and then kind of taste it and see where it needs to go. Sometimes you put this stuff in, it's like, okay, we missed. I have to throw in another strawberry, or maybe I need a touch of honey or agave because my sweet tooth said this is too tart for me this morning. So again, I think everybody that's doing the smoothies, I encourage you to kind of establish your own basic recipe. What are you going for? Jot that down and then get creative. Okay, I'm going to throw the mango out today and put in strawberries. I'm going to throw out the strawberries and I'm going to throw in dragon fruit because I'm really getting exotic here. But you can make these do just about anything. And they don't have to contain kale to be healthy. Just a little observation.
So Christy, there's obviously 2 sides to every coin. And I'm sure there's 2 sides to the smoothie coin. So when people do what you described earlier and they make a cluster bomb as a smoothie, what are the other things, the downsides of a smoothie or mistakes that people make that they shouldn't be doing? Where are we going wrong in our smoothies?
Well, one of the things I do see, again, is using that as that meal replacement for breakfast. And many of us have a very busy morning. We need to get from breakfast to lunch. And all we're putting in this is a bunch of fruit. So I've got all this quick-acting carbohydrate. It goes in, and because it's liquid, it tends to leave the system, so to speak, a little bit faster. So we are left hungry mid-morning. We could have put that Greek yogurt in. We could have put that little bit of whey protein in or something. So, again, that's one. The other thing I do see is, as I chat with people, well, it saves time. And then I'm thinking, unless you've got all the stuff ready to rock and roll, you got to stop and chop up fruit. You got to make sure it's in the freezer. You got to do all the measurement. And I could have a piece of toast in the toaster, top it with peanut butter and a banana, and out the door I go.
No,
and probably the same time.
Breakfast.
Yeah, that's a good. Well, and that's not a bad breakfast. I mean, all things considered, if you're really hurrying. But I think that's the biggest thing. I think people just go, well, if it's a smoothie and I make it with all these fruits, it's going to be some kind of benefit. And sometimes it's just a pureed cup of fruit.
Wow.
Changing. I'm sorry, I just had a question. We're changing tracks kind of a little bit, but it's still along the same line. Do you think that there's an advantage to looking at the seasonal fruits?
Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Just kind of as you're building have your basic, but then maybe look at what's in season.
Yes, one of the things I do see quite frequently in the smoothies is that texture. We kind of like that thickened, not so gluey. I overshot the oatmeal thick, but we want something to feel like it's giving us some oomph. And so the frozen banana gives you that texture that we look for. Mm-hmm. Then as far as the fruit goes, you could certainly blend in fresh fruit. You're going to get a thinner product there. But if you use the frozen fruits, of course, available all year long, you're going to get something that's a little cooler, more refreshing. So again, it's that, what am I using? And I, for one, would love the fresh fruits. I mean, you could probably put cantaloupe in there. I've heard people putting watermelons. Certainly the berries. Berries are all year around these days. So we can always make an incredible smoothie. Sometimes you just got to take a little step back and say, okay, what am I trying to accomplish? Like I said, what's going in here?
So on the oatmeal,
yes.
How much is too much? How much is not enough? I mean, where's a good little mix?
Around 2 to 3 tablespoons in a typical smoothie. We're not looking for this thing to glue it up, so I have to use a spoon. Yeah. But it adds a little texture. It adds a little fiber. There's probably a little, other benefits in there with other vitamins and minerals and so forth. But I'm just looking at it as one more thing I can add in there. The other thing that is doing really, really well are the different seeds. A lot of folks are adding the flax seed, the chia seed, the hemp seeds, and they grind them. Mostly fiber, but a lot of omega-3 fatty acids. Now, granted, you're not getting what you would get from eating a piece of salmon, but the omega-3 fatty acids from the flax seeds, fantastic. Also the chia seeds. And protein.
I think I have a rule of thumb for Derek. If you throw in a 3-inch oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, that's just about the right amount of oatmeal to put in your smoothie.
That's a dessert smoothie, and there's no reason why you can't go there.
Well, my protein powder is cookies and cream flavor, not vanilla, so we got to start.
Not bad.
Now, for the average person out there who's maybe thinking that they might like to start doing the smoothies, what would you suggest to help them get started?
Well, again, let's make a few notes. I would start with some kind of fluid. Sometimes folks will use a regular dairy milk. Some folks will use an unsweetened nut milk. These days we've got almond cashew. There's even a flaxseed milk out there. So I want to start with some liquid. Again, I'm going to throw in the frozen banana because it's going to give me the texture that I'm looking for. Then I'm going to go for some fruits. I want that kind of fresh, eye-opening taste in the morning. So I'm going to throw in a couple of fruits. My vegetables, depending on my taste, there may be some in there just to give me a little bit of extra green power. I do want a source of protein. So I can do the Greek yogurt. I can do the cottage cheese. I can do the protein powders. I can also do peanut butter. There's also powdered peanut butter.
You can put peanut butter in a smoothie?
Yes, you can.
I'm sold.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like a Reese's peanut butter cup a la
peanut butter is
smoothie.
My go-to anything. It's good on anything.
Peanut butter and oatmeal cookies. And
there you go.
There you go.
You guys, we're going desserts here. Let's get it back to health. No, but you got those basics going on. You've got the fluid. You've got some added fun by putting the seeds in there. Again, a little bit of fiber with the oatmeal. But the protein, the fruit, the frozen banana, and then a liquid medium. And then by then, just, hey, what's in season? What's going on?
Now, are there any classes available that somebody might be able to go to?
Oh, it is so funny that you would mention that. Oh, my goodness heavens. Well, as a matter of fact, we are sponsoring a summer smoothie class next Thursday. We being the Live Well Center. Fabulous, fabulous place. Anyway, we're doing a smoothie workshop next Thursday at 6 o'clock at Dixie Regional Medical Center. And you just need to call 251-3793. And make your reservation. We'd love to have you come on board. You're going to taste 4 different smoothies, and for $5, you can't beat it.
So give that phone number out again.
It is 251-3793. Call us. We'd love to have you.
Cool.
That's great. So it's amazing how fast the time goes. We just have a minute or so left. What are your parting words?
Enjoy life. Have a smoothie for breakfast. And call your dietitian if you have any questions as to what to put in that fabulous smoothie you're about to enjoy.
There you go.
I try.
Now, is there a better time of day, or is there a preferred time of day to have a smoothie? Because we've talked about breakfast smoothies. Is there a bad time of day to have the smoothie?
Don't do it right before you go to bed. I mean, really and truly, they're good any time. And, weigh it out. If you don't need the smoothie because you just ate a 5-course dinner, don't do it. But they're fine anytime. Sometimes you have to consider how much are you putting in at one time, but any time is fine.
So, and you wouldn't want to use it as your beverage for your evening meal or something like that?
I don't recommend it.
I mean, I'm not saying that. I mean, that sounds like I'm saying it facetiously. I'm really not, because I've seen it done.
It's like having a milkshake with your burger and fries. So is that overkill? It might be.
No such thing as overkill when you're talking about a milkshake.
If you're talking burger, fries, and a milkshake, especially if there's cookies and cream protein powder in your smoothie.
That's right.
You've got it with any meal you want.
That's right.
But no, timing really is not an issue. But again, I think you want to look at it as, am I using it as a meal replacement? It's really going to be my breakfast, or I am so rushed it's my lunch. Otherwise, it could be the post-workout. It could be that quick afternoon snack, just something to pick you up.
All right. Well, Derek, did we get all your questions answered?
Well, I think so. I was told post-workout to get it within the first 30 minutes.
30 to 45. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's a lot of information about the post-workout smoothies.
All right.
Call me.
All right. I'll call you.
Well, Christy, thank you so much for being with us today. Why don't you tell us again the phone number for the Live Well Center where they can sign up for the workshop?
Okay, this again is a smoothie workshops coming up on Thursday the 14th, 6 p.m., Dixie Regional Medical Center. Give us a call at 251-3793. Make that reservation. Bring a friend. Bring your friend. And we'd love to have you there. Thanks so much.
Bring the whole family.
As a matter of fact, kids like smoothies. Bring them in.
You can't beat it. You can't
Absolutely.
beat it.
Right,
and we're doing
smoothies.
a vegetable one. We're going to do a green one, so come on.
So you can test them to see if it's actually going to be something they'll consume.
There you go.
Yeah, well, again, Christy, thank you so much for being with us. Derek, that was really informative.
Yeah, I love it because obviously there's the post-workout, but then you have the fun smoothies that you drink because you want to. So
And honestly, that's usually where I am. I'm usually the fun. I mean, I love a good fruit smoothie. I love the more fruits, not necessarily the more, but the right combination of fruits. I like a good fruity. And again, I'm not interested in the kale or the protein powder in there, but just the fruit and some ice in there if it's the fruit's not frozen, just to make it just a little chill and stuff. So it's kind of fun.
yeah, I like it. Thanks for having Christy on. Christy, thanks for being here. You're awesome guest and good information even from you personally. So
I always enjoy talking with you, gentlemen.
All right. Well, again, that's all the time we have for today. We want to again thank you for joining us, and we'd also like to thank Christy for joining us. Remember to join us each and every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. for the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life on Fox News 1450. You can also listen to this or prior shows on our website at www.seniorgames.net. And Christy's prior shows are on there. So if you liked what you heard here, go to our website, follow the link, and you can find her listed in the
archives.
And that makes you sound like you're not into crypt. Don't worry.
Last week
I've been archived.
It's an electronic archive. As mentioned at the top of the show, registration is now open and going strong. If you'd like to register, go to www.seniorgames.net and click on register. We would love to see you. And we're working really hard as a staff to make the 30th anniversary edition of the Games memorable. So plan to attend now. If you have any comments or feedback about our show, we would love to hear from you. Just send an email to activelife@seniorgames.net. You know, in all the years we've been saying that, we've never had anybody send a message to Active Life. I'd just like to have one person send a comment to
Christy.
Active Life.
I'll
Do
do
it,
that.
Christy.
Just to know that somebody out there is actually listening to us.